You're watching KSPF Channel 1. Alright, so for today's video, I thought it'd be fun to dive right in where we left off. We're going to talk about the Red River Showdown. Okay, so for a little bit of historic context, the game's been played 115 times. OU has won 48 of those, Texas 62, and they've tied 5 times, with OU winning the 2 most recent battles. Lincoln Riley and Tom Herman. Those two have never coached against any other head coaches in the Red River Showdown. Now, as far as how these two have stacked up against each other, Lincoln Riley and the Sooners have won 3 games to Tom Herman's 1 victory. Okay, so the first game between these two head coaches came in 2017. The final score was OU 29, Texas 24. Alright, so in 2018, Texas actually started out with the regular season win against OU, 48-45. They'd go on to play in the Big 12 title against OU, which OU would take 39-27. And finally, we had last year's matchup, which saw the Sooners emerge victorious in a 34-27 victory. Okay. So I'm a big fan of knowing averages and numbers. I went ahead and figured out that OU on average beats Texas by a score of 36.75 per year to Texas 31.5 points per year. So this rivalry dates way back. Texas' longest win streak against the Sooners was 8 games, which came in 1940 and ended in 1947. The Sooners' longest win streak was 6 games from 1952 to 1957. The Texas Longhorns lead the overall series by 14 games, but since 2000 that gap has begun to close. The two teams have played 21 times. OU has won 14 of those. In our last video, we talked about how OU is starting out their Big 12 season 0-2 for the first time since 1998. When they met Texas in 1998, Texas won 34-3. Alright, so I think the QB matchup in this game is going to be one of the most intriguing things about the game. On one side, with OU, you have Spencer Rattler, who has 977 passing yards this year, on top of 10 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. On the other side of the ball, you have Sam Ehlinger, the senior quarterback, coming in with 924 passing yards, 14 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. The Texas Longhorns have looked fantastic offensively, averaging 51 points per game scored. On the defensive side of the ball, though, there's still quite a bit to be desired, as the Longhorns are averaging 30.67 points per game given up. On the other side, the Oklahoma Sooners offensively haven't looked terrible. They are averaging 40 points a game. And defensively, they're looking pretty strong too, averaging 22.67 points per game. I think I'm going to go ahead and give the edge to the Longhorns. And that's based on the quarterback situation. If this game is close at the end, I think Sam Ehlinger's experience is going to be the thing that carries Texas to a victory ultimately. As long as he can protect the ball and keep it moving downfield, the Longhorns should come out on top in this game. My final score prediction is 45-35. I think we're in for a shootout, an offensive fireworks show, and it is going to be a good time. The Oklahoma Sooners don't like to lose. It's just not something they're familiar with. But if you lose your 3rd straight Big 12 game, that likely is going to take you out of Big 12 title contention. What does that mean for your bowl potential? I'd still say that you have a good shot at getting the Camping World Bowl or the Texas Bowl. I honestly would love to see what they would look like in the Liberty Bowl against a matchup there. That could be fun. But you need a win this weekend in order to keep that title hope alive. The Texas Longhorns only have 1 loss on the season so far. What does that mean for your bowl contention? Well, a win this weekend would likely put you on a good course to get yourselves back into Big 12 title contention and would definitely give you potential to get to a New Year's Six bowl. That's not out of the question. I'd be willing to say Texas is very likely going to make it to the Alamo Bowl if they miss out on the New Year's Six bowl this year. In the comments below, go ahead and let me know what you think the final score of this game is going to be. Tell me what you think each team's likely bowl scenario is going to be. Thank you for watching, and as always, go Pokes!